The distress beacon had been pinging for 3 hours before Noah's salvage hauler, the tin can, picked it up. Out here in the Kepler belt, distress signals were either death traps set by pirates or genuine emergencies that would be over long before help arrived. Noah had learned to ignore most of them. But this one was different. It was broadcasting on an old Earth frequency, one that hadn't been used in decades. Probably some ancient probe, Noah muttered to himself, adjusting course anyway. Curiosity was a dangerous thing in deep space, but it was also profitable. Ancient tech sold well on the frontier stations. The source turned out to be a cryopod, tumbling slowly through the asteroid field like a metallic cocoon. Its hull was scorched black and half its systems were dark, but the beacon still blinked stubbornly. Noah maneuvered the tin can alongside it and used the cargo grapple to haul it into his tiny hold. Inside, frost covered every surface of the pod. Through the frozen viewport, Noah could make out a face, a young woman, maybe 20, her features peaceful in suspended animation. The readouts were in old Earth script, but Noah's translator managed cryogenic suspension active. Subject, Danielle Chen. Status, critical. External temperature compensation failing. Damn it, Noah breathed. The pod was dying. Without immediate intervention, whoever this Danielle Chen was would die with it. He had two choices: jettison the pod and forget he'd ever seen it, or try to save her. The first option was smart. The second was stupid. Noah had always been stupid when it mattered. His ship didn't have medical facilities, just a tiny living quarters with a bunk, a food printer, and a heating unit that worked on good days. But he did have one thing: his emergency thermal sleeping bag rated for the coldest environments. If he could get her out of the failing pod and warm her up gradually. This is the dumbest thing you've ever done, Noah told himself as he cracked open the cryopod. The rush of super-cooled air nearly froze his lungs. Danielle Chen, Danny according to the faded name tag on her jumpsuit, was ice cold to the touch, her skin pale blue. Noah worked fast, disconnecting the failing life support tubes and lifting her out. She weighed almost nothing, her body preserved by decades of frozen sleep. He carried her to his bunk and unzipped the thermal sleeping bag, climbing in first before pulling her against him. The bag sealed automatically, its heating elements activating. Noah wrapped his arms around her frozen form, sharing his body heat. "Come on," he whispered. "Don't die on me now." Hours passed. Noah monitored her vitals through a handheld scanner, watching her temperature climb degree by agonizing degree. Her heartbeat, nearly non-existent at first, grew stronger. Color returned to her cheeks. Then her eyes opened. They were brown, wide with confusion and terror. She gasped, her body tensing. Hey, it's okay," Noah said quickly. "You're safe. Your cryopod failed. I pulled you out. You were freezing to death." Danny stared at him, taking in the cramped quarters, the stranger holding her, the sleeping bag they shared. Her lips moved, but no sound came out at first. Then, where am I? Salvage ship Kepler Belt. I'm Noah, you're Danielle Chen, according to your pod. What year did you go under? 2187, she whispered. Noah's blood ran cold. Danny, it's 2384. The color drained from her face. 200 years. She'd been frozen for 200 years. The mission, she said suddenly, trying to sit up. The colony ship, the Prometheus. Where is it? Where's the rest of my crew? Noah didn't have the heart to tell her immediately. The Prometheus had disappeared into a wormhole 70 years ago, declared lost with all hands. Whatever had happened, Danny's cryopod must have been ejected during the disaster. We'll figure it out, Noah said softly. But right now, you need to rest. You're still recovering. Over the next few days, Danny recovered physically, but the emotional weight of her situation crushed her. Everyone she'd known was gone. The Earth she'd left behind had changed beyond recognition. She'd been heading toward a new world, a fresh start, and instead she'd woken up to emptiness. Noah did his best to help. He shared his food, taught her about the new galaxy, showed her the star charts. Danny clung to him, literally. Even after she was fully recovered, she insisted on sleeping in the thermal bag with him, pressed close. I know it's weird, she admitted one night, her voice small in the darkness. But when I'm near you, I feel warm, safe, like I'm not just drifting. Noah understood. In the vast emptiness of space, connection was everything. He'd been alone for so long that he'd forgotten what it felt like to matter to someone. You can stay as long as you want, he told her. Days became weeks, Danny learned to operate the ship's systems, proving herself useful in ways Noah hadn't expected. She had skills from another era, old engineering techniques that worked better than modern shortcuts. Together they made a good team. But Noah noticed something else. Danny never wandered far from him. If he left the cabin, she followed. If he worked in the cargo bay, she found reasons to be there. At night, she wrapped herself around him in the sleeping bag, holding on like he was her anchor to reality. "You saved my life," she told him one evening, her head resting on his chest. "Not just by pulling me out of that pod. You gave me a reason to keep going." Noah stroked her hair, feeling something shift in his chest. He'd rescued her thinking he was doing a good deed, maybe making some money off ancient tech. Instead, he'd found something more valuable than salvage. "I think you saved me too," he admitted. "I've been drifting for years, just going through the motions. You made me remember what it feels like to care about someone." Danny lifted her head, her brown eyes meeting his. "Then don't let me go." "I won't," Noah promised. In the endless dark of space, two lost souls had found each other. A man who'd forgotten how to hope, and a woman displaced by time itself. The tin can continued its journey through the Kepler belt, but it wasn't just a salvage hauler anymore. It was home, and neither Noah nor Danny had any intention of letting go.